Hello everybody, welcome back to Pinetree Wood. It's Easter Sunday today and we're in the middle of Storm Dave, and the trees are the wind's quite wild at the minute, swaying the trees around. Last night was really bad. I think we're in a little bit of a lull between in the eye of the storm, and I think it's going to pick up again this afternoon. So for now I'm popped out here quickly to do a video intro for the What's in the Wood in March video. March had a large number of captures on the Trailcam, and at the time I didn't have time to compile a monthly video. Instead, I made short, unnarrated daily videos. I've now thinned out the videos, many of which were pigeons and magpies, and picked out just a few clips from across the hundreds captured across a month. The foxes have been much less frequent across March, making only a few appearances. Ginger had a wander around the pond in the early hours of the first. Rocky Robin made almost daily visits to the wood, both seen on the Trailcam and in person. As we moved further into the spring, the variety of birds has increased. Chaffinches were the first to return, while Bluetits, dunnocks, blackbirds and robins stayed all winter. Late evening on the 2nd, Cherry the hedgehog made an appearance. I have frequently left seed out overnight across the winter for any bird or animal that needed it. Danger Mouse and Speedy were also frequent visitors across March. Coal tits and great tits have also been fairly common sights across the winter, though not every day. Danger Mouse is usually more cautious when out, frequently stopping and looking around for danger, hence the name. Last year, Cherry the hedgehog didn't drink that much from the pond. However, this year, there have been many more visits for a drink. Due to the number of daylight captures during March and the increased length of daylight, I gradually reduced the amount of time that the Trailcam was operating. The mice and Cherry the hedgehog made up most of the nighttime visits, but Ginger the male fox was back again at 4 in the morning on the 5th. Ginger must have been fairly hungry, as there wasn't much seed on the path, but he still tried to sniff out any seeds left lying around. It rained overnight from the 5th to the 6th, and there were still rain spots on the camera when the chaffinch was caught again. Rocky was becoming more confident when taking seed from me. The chaffinch was spotted again, along with dunnocks under the bird table. One of the mice was spotted late that evening. It may have been Danger Mouse, but it's difficult to tell. Cherry was out not long before midnight, but by 3 a.m. on the morning of the 7th, the temperature had dropped to -2 degrees by the time Danger Mouse came back. An hour later, Cherry returned again. Around 8:30 in the morning, one of the Bluetits had a go at the Trailcam. I don't know if it could see its reflection or whether it thought it was a bird box. Eventually it gave up and flew to the feeder. There have been quite a few tree sparrows and coal tits in the wood in March. On the evening of the 7th, I went to put some food out and saw a mouse at one of the burrow entrances. I sprinkled some seed and nuts near the hole and then waited. The phone video wasn't great under my red torchlight, so after a little while I switched the torch to white light, hoping it wouldn't scare the mouse away. It didn't. Bandit the cat was out stalking mice later that evening. The following evening, while putting food out again, I spotted Cherry the hedgehog on the lawn. I didn't have my phone with me, so ran back to the house for it. By the time I got back, the hog was hiding under the pine tree. The Trailcam caught the hog again at 10:15. It triggered again just before 1 a.m, but this time it wasn't Cherry. I didn't realise at the time that this was a second hog. At 4 in the morning on the 9th, Ginger, the male fox, was back in the wood, sniffing around for seed, I think looking for peanuts. Bandit was chasing mice again that evening, but he came up empty. There was a big mouse-on-mouse chase on the 10th. Robins and bluetits are often seen around the feeder and the pond. Tuffy, the third mouse, was seen on the bird table along with Speedy on the 11th. The second hog was spotted again on the 12th. It was first seen by the holly tree, so this one has been named Holly. The patchy spine colour makes it stand out compared to Cherry. Bandit was hunting again on the 13th, but I've never seen him catch anything. Tree sparrows and other small birds often come to the bird table, but it was often emptied by pigeons and magpies. The hogs have been visiting the wood almost every night across March. The bluetit was back having another go at the Trailcam on the 14th. Jackdaws haven't been around much until the spring. I don't know where they go over the winter. On the 15th, Holly the hog seemed to be able to smell the seed on the bird table. Most of the birds have been making use of the pond at some point, so if you have a bird feeder, it's also worth having a water source. Ginger was back once more in the last few minutes of the 16th. I haven't seen Smudge, the female fox, recently. I wondered if she was pregnant and back at the den. Ginger spent some time eating the seed, and as there haven't been that many fox visits, I included the whole 1 minute capture. Bandit could smell something around the pond, possibly the mice, but ended up eating seed. Chaffinches were seen again on the 17th. Both hogs were out on the morning of the 18th, seen 3 hours apart. The mice had also started making the leap from the bird table to the hanging feeder, where spill from the birds collected in the base of the feeder. By later in March, the mice were making multiple visits to the pond area, usually every evening. On the 19th, the Trailcam caught both hogs at the same time. This was the first time that I realised that there were two different hogs in the garden. I hadn't noticed the differences between them until I started looking back at older videos after seeing this clip. With less daytime captures, I hadn't seen the blackbird using the pond as much. Rocky Robin was frequently waiting for me in the wood, or arrived soon after I came to fill the feeder. Bandit passed through the wood on the 22nd, but there were no mice to play with. Holly spent a while eating seed on the 23rd. The following day, after quite an absence, Basil the rat showed up, being captured by the pond. I think it must live in the fields near the house. On the 24th, Rocky was the boldest he's ever been, landing on my hand and staying there to feed, rather than grabbing some food and flying off again. Both hogs were around again on the evening of the 24th into the 25th. It always amuses me just how much they meander around while searching for food, sometimes walking in circles. Ginger came back again on the 26th, stopped for some seed, and then moved on down the wood. A couple of hours later, Bandit the cat was waiting by the tree, watching the mouse burrow. He left just after 4:30. It must be nest building season for pigeons, as this one was wrestling with the twig that it kept standing on while trying to walk. Early afternoon on the 26th, I tried some slow motion videos of Rocky coming in to feed. Two mice were out together on the 27th. Both seemed easily spooked. There was another mouse chase on the 28th. I'm not sure which two mice they were. Possibly Speedy and Tuffy. The chaffinch continued to make appearances in March and was joined at the pond by a greenfinch, the first sighting this year. One of the pigeons finally worked out that it could hang on the bird feeder, but its balance wasn't great, and after much flapping, it gave up. Danger Mouse was seen on the 28th, but was spooked by the wind. On the 29th, two mice were on the feeder, surprising each other with one falling off. Rocky and a tree sparrow were seen at the feeder on the 29th. And a goldfinch was also seen by the pond. I think this was the first goldfinch of 2026. That evening, Cherry showed up, but with what appeared to be an injury, possibly a blood stain. The hog was also in a hurry and stumbled into the pond. The two mice were back in the early light of dawn on the 30th. That evening, Holly was feeding in the wood while Bandit was nearby, watching the mouse burrow again. Various small birds finished off the captures for March. Thanks for watching. Do consider giving me a like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Bye.